Hello, Team NECA, and welcome to another NECA Live. My name is David Meade, and if we haven't met before, this is the show where we bring you the latest and greatest of what is going on in the world of the National Electrical Contractors Association. You can catch us right here live every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, and listen anytime that you'd like to hear my voice again as part of the NECA Live podcast network. New episodes are available there each and every week, and you don't want to miss a single one. They help protect your business, protect your team, and help you grow your business as well. Speaking of podcasts, I'm delighted to be joined today by a fellow member of the NECA Podcast Network. His podcast, Labour Thoughts, is a bi-weekly show that dives deep into the complicated, complex, and critical world of labour relations at NECA. Labour relations is absolutely crucial to the success of NECA and its member organisations, and this show will bring NECA's experts directly into your ears, whether you are travelling, whether you are on project, or simply trying to get some work done. Not only does he podcast about labour relations, but he lives it every single day. So please join me in giving a great big welcome to NECA's Executive Director of Labour Relations and host of Labour Thoughts. It is Ryan Courtney. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on NECA Live. How are you?
I am well, David, and that's the most excited I've ever heard somebody be about labor relations. So that's great. Thank you for having me on.
Not only am I excited about labor relations, let's take a moment to appreciate the cool, sexy, amazing studio space that you have. Ryan, I feel like you and I are dueling podcasters, but isn't it such a great way to keep in touch with the NECA family?
Oh, it definitely is. And, it allows us to reach an audience that we really haven't been able to before. So, yeah, it's awesome.
For you busy contractors out there and your entire wider team, the Labour Thoughts podcast is a great way to stay in touch with all of the small and big changes that help you run a compliant organisation. So let's begin with a bit of an overview of the Labour Thoughts podcast. When and how did this idea originate, Ryan? And what sort of things do you cover in each of the episodes?
I'd have to say it started actually in Chuck's office when we were still in the offices at Bethesda. I happen to be located just right across the suite there from them, and I would walk over from time to time. We would start chatting about an issue that had come in, either phone call, email, what have you. And an hour went by, and we had covered not only everything about the issue, but everything connected to it. And one day I was sitting there and I said, Chuck, we should probably record this because there's a wealth of knowledge that Chuck had in his head, as well as everyone else working in labor relations. And that knowledge would come out when we would start talking, and we would reference this regulation or this, part of our agreements or this past practice. And it was just that. It was a conversation we were having. And from that, we kind of got the idea to start recording it. And that's when it turned into a podcast.
And I think it's that thought sharing, that knowledge transference that makes NECA so strong. It's what makes the whole NECA family and network so powerful. And we've got tons of the network joining us here today. We've got, Steve Allred is listening in while traveling to a negotiation session. Steve, that is multitasking good. I'm delighted to hear it. Donnie is self-employed in Iowa. Thank you for joining us. Tracy is coming in from beautiful Portland, Oregon. I cannot wait to come back whenever that is, whenever we are all safe to do so. Steve Stella is saying it's great to see everyone coming online in this time of pandemic. Hope you're all staying safe. Steve, we share that sentiment. Thank you so much for being part of our live audience here. And I think it's so important that we accept, Ryan, that labor relations is such a key part of what NECA offers. And oftentimes for members, they don't realize how important it is until something goes wrong. And much of this happens behind the scenes. Do you believe that this podcast can really help bring these discussions more to the foreground and help prioritize it for members?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, with labor relations, it's no challenge to speak of its importance to our chapter managers, our field reps, and the representatives within our member companies that deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But we recognize our members have more than just those individuals working for them. So if they have the ability to listen in on these discussions and have some exposure to it, I believe it brings it more to the foreground, sheds a little bit more light on what we do.
And ultimately, it's about giving members the opportunity to think about the challenges and opportunities that they face in each of those spaces. And I know that one important piece of labor relations at NECA is the Council on Industrial Relations, the CIR. And some might have heard of it, but for anyone that perhaps hasn't, can you give us a bit of an overview of what it is, who is part of it, and its impact on electrical construction overall?
Absolutely. So, as of, this year, CIR is now 101 years old. It was founded roughly 1920. You can find some where the formation started in 1919. But the idea was to bring our industry together, both the union and our management representatives, form a group of people to settle our disputes with the primary goal of keeping strikes out of our industry. So no strikes, no lockouts. And I'm a numbers guy, and you would think I'd have this number off the top of my head, but I don't. But I will say it's a very large number over the span of the 100 years the council has been in existence of strikes and lockouts that we've prevented, because the purpose of the council is to keep our issues, our problems in-house. The customer doesn't see them, doesn't deal with them. We solve them. And a unique part is it's 12 people in a room and all decisions are unanimous. And it's always been that way.
And it's that sense of trust, isn't it, that makes everyone feel like this is a powerful process that they can invest in. I know NECA has recently reorganized itself to bring its field service and its national labor relations together. As the two so often work hand in hand anyway, it's good to formalize this, I think. Can you describe how NECA National works with its field service and chapters on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so to quote my boss, Kevin, our field services are the tip of the spear. They are our direct contact to what we would consider our customer, which are our chapters. Labor relations, we support the field representatives, and they in turn support our chapters, who support our association's main customer, which is our contractors. So we provide resources, education, research, data, numbers to our chapters through our field reps. When there's an issue, the chapter reaches out to their field rep, and then they reach out to us.
And it's that connectedness that really helps make sure that the voice of the contractor is at the center of everything that we do. So, look, this must be a bit of a, no pun intended, Ryan, but this must be a bit of a labor of love for you working on the podcast, because a lot of people don't realize, they are tricky technically. They can be challenging to get right. And I know yours really has been going from strength to strength. But what is the future? What topics are you going to cover? And where do you hope this goes?
I'd say the future of the podcast, I would like to be able to expand it. Right now, its primary focus is to cover different topics of labor relations. We touched on portability, referral, things like that, big topics in our industry. But I would like to be able to get other labor relations professionals to join us from the different trade associations, discuss how they do things, what problems they're experiencing, and also bring in our labor partners, the IBW, the union, and cover issues jointly. I'm not blind to the fact that we don't sit at the table alone. We sit across from very intelligent, very skilled negotiators, and may as well bring them on and have a discussion with them too. So I think that's the future, is to open it up.
The collaboration and the friendship with IBEW really is something that pervades so many aspects of NECA. So it's great to see this joined up approach here too. One last question, Ryan. I've got to say, to be able to connect with members in this way, to be able to contribute, to be able to create a platform that allows them to hear critical and key messages that truly do help protect them, that help keep them safe from a legal, compliance and governance point of view, to plan for the changes that are coming ahead. And, in this moment, there's so much information out there. It's so hard for contractors to know what they should be focusing on. This must feel like a real achievement to create something that really does speak to their needs, that really does make a difference to their business. Are you really proud of what the podcast has achieved?
Yeah, I very much am. It's like you said, it's a labor of love. There's a lot of work that goes into recording it, putting it together, and fact checking, make sure everything we said that it is accurate and true for our members. So I'm extremely proud of it, and I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Well, I know that our audience is as well, because this is one of our biggest episodes in terms of viewers so far. Danny is coming in from New York. Great to see you, Danny. Hopefully we will see you live and in person really soon. Krunal is coming in from Erie, Pennsylvania. We've got someone coming in from Los Angeles as well. Tony Cameron, great to have you, is coming in from beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. We have members coming in from all across the US and some from beyond as well. And it really does speak to how important this topic is. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to catch up with us, and we look forward to tuning in to another episode of yours really soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, David. And again, check out Labor Thoughts.
We sure will. We will see you back here soon. I'm certain of it, Ryan. All the best. Take care. And a big thank you to all of you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And remember, Labor Thoughts is your every other week podcast. It's a great opportunity to learn about the cutting edge news and updates that you need to protect your business. So before we go, I want to remind you all about a really important event that is coming up next month that I am hugely excited to be a part of. I love getting to join Team NECA. I love being part of the NECA family. And NECA Now 2021 is just around the corner. This is a 2-day virtual leadership conference that will bring us all together like never before. There will be plenary sessions featuring Marcus Lemonis, we've got Steve Pemberton, we've got Lisa Sun and Mike Rowe. There are non-stop breakout sessions. And if you know a NECA event, you know that we have got some pretty outstanding entertainment as well. Don't forget the networking. We do virtual networking like no one else in the industry. You name it, it will be there. NECA has invested in making this not only a unique and unforgettable experience, but one that actually contributes towards your business as well. you can register for NECA Now 2021 right away. Go to nikanow.com and get that taken care of as soon as possible. I will be in the front row sitting alongside you throughout the event, and I promise you, you do not want to miss a single second. We will leave you with a quick preview of all things NECA Now, everything that we have in store for that fantastic event. And until next time, this has been NECA Live.
NECA Now takes it to a whole different level.
NECA Now is an executive leadership conference taking place every other year, and in 2021 it is going all virtual, taking place April 13 through 14.
We're investing more in education than we ever had before.
We're going to hit all of the key leadership topics, but this year we're also focusing on 2 key areas of leadership: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and innovation. These are the type of sessions that no matter where you are in your career, you're going to take something out of it.
We look to provide our members and their employees with leadership development curriculum to improve not only their lives at work, but their lives at home as well.
A major focus is on driving connectivity between the members. So we have some really fun lunches and receptions planned that are all interactive to drive that connectivity.
Registration is available and open right now for this incredible event. Go to nikanow.com. I will be there. Trust me, you want to be there as well.